consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as votive activities, karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. May I know the call today?
हरे कृष्ण भगवती वसुधा माता जी नमस्ते प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लेट हरे कृष्णा
Preeti Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Dakstas from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavas Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. And to all the assembled devotees, this is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Megha Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yashamati Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा भगवती वसुधा माता जी all glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi from Raj.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Mrita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharika Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna Vrinda, thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call and chanting. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the devotees. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna Susmita Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Anita Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to the assembled devotees. This is Aditi Devi Dasi from Canada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Aditi Mataji. Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. This is Sukakar Krishnadas from Chennai. I'm thankful to your Sangha and all goes to Srila Prabhupada, to all the devotees and Guru Maharaj. But this is a fantastic Sangha with so much of back-to-back activities, afternoon chant, morning chanting, and then afternoon Chaitanya Chaitamrita, and again chanting. So I am finding every day Vaikuntha in your Sangha. This is the best Sangha, I would say. And best speakers you are bringing. All glories to the Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Bhagavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Suhakar Krishnadas Prabhuji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable association in this call and encouraging all of us in this service. Thank you so much. Look forward for your regular association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is there anyone who would like to introduce the call?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Kamudiki Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I cannot remove this thing. I don't know what is it. It's obstructing. So, okay. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, I welcome all of you once again. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Puja Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, and all assembled devotees, Dandavat Pranam. As we all know that today is a very
Mataji, we can start the call. Mataji, Prabhuji is already on the call.
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much. Okay, welcome all of you once again for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call, Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are really fortunate to have His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept all of our humble obeisances. Thank you so much for giving your time and association in this Bhakti Sangha conference call. Before I hand over the call to you, I would like to hand over the call to Aditi Mataji to give a brief introduction on Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is a brief introduction for His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji. His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji, disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swamiji, is the Associate Dean of Academics Affairs of the Bhaktivedanta Vidyapita Research Center at Govardhan Eco Village. He is a member of the ISKCON Board of Examinations. He holds a master degree from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He teaches Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Vaishnava character courses at Govardhan Eco Village and at several places in India. Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji has written several books, including Bhagavad Subodhini, Bhagavata Subodhini, Chaitanya Subodhini, Disapproved but Not Disowned, Bhagavata Pravaha, and Gita, the Jeweled Box. He has special fondness for reciting and meditating on spiritual verses and has compiled slokas, books, namely Gita Ratnamala, Bhagavata Ratnamala, Chaitanya Ratnamala, and Bhagavata Tattvamala. He also runs a free monthly e-magazine called Bhagavata Pradipita Pika and regularly writes educational and devotional articles that also appears in the Back to Godhead magazine, international and multiple Indian language editions. He is known for his lucid spiritual talks with captivating visuals and also presentation that gives a bird's eye view on an entire book or a section. So far, he has delivered over 4,500 hours of spiritual discourses. He has guided several students in their sastric study. He also oversees the deity worship at Govardhan Eco Village. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Aditi Mataji, for that brief introduction. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you can please take over the call, and we really thankful for your time and association in this call, and giving your association regularly. It is very enlightening, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 26th chapter, 27th verse. This is a prose verse. We will read the translation and the purport. In this world, some persons are professional plunderers who set fire to others' houses or administer poison to them. Also, members of the royalty or government officials sometimes plunder mercantile men by forcing them to pay income tax and by other methods. After death, such demons are put into the hell known as Sarameyadana. On that planet, there are 720 dogs with teeth as strong as thunderbolts. Under the orders of the agents of Yamaraj, these dogs voraciously devour such sinful people. Purport. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that in this age of Kali, everyone will be extremely disturbed by three kinds of tribulations: scarcity of rain, famine, and heavy taxation by the government. Because human beings are becoming more and more sinful, there will be a scarcity of rain, and naturally no food grains will be produced. On the plea of relieving the suffering caused by the ensuing famine, the government will impose heavy taxes, especially on the wealthy mercantile community. In this verse, the members of such a government are described as the thieves. Their main activity will be to plunder the wealth of the people, whether a highway robber or a government thief. Such a man will be punished in his next life by being thrown into the hell known as Sarameyadana, where he will suffer greatly from the bites of ferocious dogs. Jai Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So, very deep shloka, very scary facts mentioned here. So, in our childhood, our elders used to say, if at all you get a job, you should get a government job, not a private job. Because there is an understanding, at least in the places where I grew up, that government job is permanent and private job is temporary. Okay, I'm not sure if that understanding is there now. But point is that whatever may be the job, if one is not honest enough, if one has greed for money and material enjoyment, one tends to commit some sinful activities or mistakes and plunder people, cheat people, loot people, take to some kind of unfavorable, dishonest means, and then end up in hell, as Prabhupada and Sukadeva Goswami are speaking in the shloka. So when the government officials, in the name of taxes, officially impose taxes, if they extract so much money from common people, then they may go to hell. And now the context of the current shloka is that our Sukadeva Goswami is narrating different hellish planets. Is describing the natures of different kinds of hellish planets which are there within this universe only. They are like jails to punish criminals, to punish sinful people. And the appointed in charge who would implement all these punishments is Yamaraj. And he has his order carriers. He has his Yamadutas who would impose all that punishment. Okay. And even punishing people is a very big thing. To be able to punish somebody and witness their pain is also a painful experience. Someone has to be very strong within materially to tolerate the screaming of other people. Even like somebody is crying out of pain, a compassionate person, a soft-hearted person cannot even stand next to that person because that person is undergoing terrible pain. But just imagine the life of Yamadutas. The Yamadutas have to implement this punishment and they have to see all these sinful people bitten by 720 dogs whose teeth are like thunderbolt. It's not a small thing. So Yamadutas have to implement this punishment. Of course, living beings who have that kind of nature will only be given that post as Yamadutas also. Just like people who are little tough become policemen and they do their duty. It's their duty to punish people. But the point here is, in this material world, there are material activities. And for those material activities, there are material reactions, and because of which people have to suffer. And some sufferings are described in this last chapter of the 5th canto of Bhagavatam. So in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami has described this whole structure of the universe so far. And now Sukadeva Goswami is concluding with a description of the hellish planets. After describing many other planets like Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Savarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, then Atala, Vatala, Sutala, Rasatala, all these lower planets, and describing the horizontal structure of the universe, where there are many islands and oceans in the Bhumandala, and the vertical structure of the universe, and the movements of the sun, and many other things. He finally is concluding his description of cosmology with these hellish planets. Very scary description. So, after hearing this whole description, right in the beginning of the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj asks a question. Parikshit Maharaj says, my dear Sukadeva Goswami, how can we avoid this hell? How can the human beings avoid entering the hellish planets? Animals need not enter because they don't have that karma, action, reaction and all. They just follow by their natural, what is that called, urge from within. And they don't have any reaction for it because they don't have access to Vedic knowledge. They are not expected to live a life according to the Vedic dharma. Dharmo hitesha adhiko visesho dharmena hinaha pasubhi samanaha. So pashus are not penalized. There are 8.4 lakhs of species. In that, this 8 million species are not subjected to Yamaraj's punishment. Only human species are subjected to the punishment of Yamaraj. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking with great compassion, my dear Sukadeva Goswami, how can this humanity avoid this hell, entering these hellish planets? So why Parikshit Maharaj is asking like this? He has 1 week to live and by this time he has already completed 5 cantos, means couple of days have passed, at least 2-3 days must have passed, at least 2 days. So he has only 4-5 days to live, and now he is thinking, he's not thinking where he will go. Will I go to hell? Will I enter one of these cells? No, he has absolutely no doubt. He will not go to hell. He is a pure devotee. But he knows the material world is filled with so many sinful living beings, and they will have to go to hell and they will have to suffer. How to avoid that? So he asked Sukadeva Goswami. So Parikshit Maharaj is not asking about himself. Parikshit Maharaj is not asking about his family members. Or Parikshit Maharaj is not even asking about the Kshatriya community. He is not asking about the people on the earthly planet only. Okay, he is asking about every single living being who has a potential to go to hell, who has a possibility to go to hell. So how can they avoid entering hell? So this is compassion of a Vaishnava. Although he is on the verge of death, just in a few days he is going to die, he is not thinking about his death. He is thinking about the destination of conditioned souls after their death. So this is Vaishnava compassion. Their compassion is all encompassing. It's not restricted to one community or one nation or one family or oneself, right? They are compassionate about everybody. Okay, and it is very spontaneous. As soon as he has heard the description of hellish planets, he is immediately asking, it's very spontaneous. It just came out on the spot. Okay, it's not that he has done some rehearsal. On the spot, he's asking, how can we avoid entering hellish planets? Okay, so, and it's very deep also. Although he is suffering, he is asking about others' suffering. So Vaishnava compassion is deep, it's spontaneous, and it's all encompassing. Okay, all encompassing because he's not thinking about oneself. Deep because although he himself is suffering, he's asking about others. And spontaneous, no analysis. Okay, immediately he's suffering. Paradukha dukhi, Vaishnava. He's asking like that. So just in response to Parikshit Maharaj's question in the beginning of the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami describes entire episode of Ajamil. As you know, Sukadeva Goswami first says that because of sin, one goes to hell. If you don't commit sin, you will not go to hell. But if you have a tendency to commit sin, and if you commit sin, you can counteract that sinful reaction by doing some atonement, prayaschitta. So then you can go avoid hell. He says like that. Parikshit Maharaj says, I can't take this answer. Here is a disciple, sincere disciple of a great spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami rejecting the answer given by the Guru. How can you say something against the Guru? Okay. Guru is saying, do prayaschitta. Okay, before you die, if you perform prayaschitta for your sinful activities, you will not get sinful reactions, you don't have to go to hell. Guru said that. Then Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj rejected the answer with an analogy. Very intelligent disciple. He said that, what is that? He said, Prayaschittam athopartham manye kunjara shochavat. Kvachin nivartate bhadrat kvachit charati tattvanah. A living being, a human being, will sometimes restrain oneself from sinful activity, and sometimes he will indulge in it. So and even if he undergoes atonement also, it's not sure that he will not commit any sinful activity, because he does a sin, he gets a reaction. To avoid that reaction, he commits some atonement, he performs some atonement or prayaschitta. And after that, the sinful propensity will continue. He will again commit sin. Again, he will do some prayaschitta. So the sinful propensity is there. So how to kill that sinful propensity? That is his question. Okay, prayashchittam atho apartham manye kunjara shochavat. He says that I consider this prayashchitta as meaningless. Apartham, no meaning, useless. Okay, and it is like elephant bath. Elephant takes bath nicely, comes out and throws dirt on its body. Similarly, a sinful person may perform some atonement to avoid sinful reaction, and he will again commit sin. What's the point? Okay, I can't take this as an answer. So now Sukadeva Goswami gave that answer and Parikshit Maharaj rejected that answer. So Sukadeva Goswami intended to test Parikshit Maharaj. He's not giving an absolute answer. Sometimes Guru may not just answer the question that we ask. He will test us. Okay. So an intelligent disciple understands whether it is a test or an answer or an explanation. Okay. He's giving answer and he's giving a question. So test constitutes sort of questions, right? So Parikshit Maharaj passed the test. Okay. So Parikshit Maharaj was tested for his understanding of philosophy in the beginning of 6th canto. And Parikshit Maharaj was tested for his eagerness to hear in the beginning of 10th canto. In the 9th canto, Sukadeva Goswami describes so many pastimes of so many kings in the Surya Vamsha and Chandra Vamsha, Sun dynasty and Moon dynasty. And at the end of 9th canto, he summarizes all the pastimes of Krishna in 2 shlokas. Done. And Parikshit Maharaj says, hey, what happened? What just happened? you have completed 10th canto. You have completed Krishna's pastimes also. The way you have summarized all the other kings, right? They are different from Krishna. Please describe Krishna's pastimes in great detail. Then Parikshit Maharaj, then Sukadeva Goswami began 10th canto from 1st chapter till 90th chapter. He described all the pastimes of Krishna in elaborate details. So Guru sometimes tests the disciple also. When Parikshit Maharaj rejected this answer of Praishchitta Karma Kanda, then Sukadeva Goswami gave another proposal, Jnana Kanda. People commit sinful activities because of their ignorance. If you cultivate knowledge, then there is no sin. Parikshit Maharaj silently rejected that answer also. Because, okay, ignorance leads to sin. Knowledge is the opposite of ignorance. You cultivate knowledge, then you will avoid, your ignorance will be destroyed and you will not commit sin. No need to enter hell. But Parikshit Maharaj felt that even in knowledge people commit sins, isn't it? So, ignorance is not the cause of every sin. Even in knowledge, people commit sinful activities. So I can't accept this Jnana Kanda also. Then he is so impressed. Sukadeva Goswami is very much impressed and he gave Bhakti. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agham dhunvanti kartsnena niharamiva bhaskara. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya, only by performing kevala bhakti, shuddha bhakti, uttama bhakti, unalloyed, unflinching, pure devotional service unto the Supreme Lord Krishna selflessly and seamlessly, then you can avoid hell. And avoiding hell, escaping from hellish punishments is just an insignificant byproduct of Krishna bhakti. The end product is love for Krishna, entrance into spiritual world, isn't it? So this is the answer, final answer given by Sukadeva Goswami. So to summarize what we have discussed, at the end of 5th canto of Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami is describing very, very scary hellish planets, but we can avoid entering those hellish planets by performing Krishna Bhakti. As simple as that. And that is the message of Srimad Bhagavatam that Sukadeva Goswami repeatedly said. Vyasadeva has repeatedly written. So Sukadeva Goswami continues and he says, Sakrinmanah Krishna Padara Vindayor Niveshitam Tad Gunaragayiriha Nateyamam Pashabhritascha Tad Bhatan Swapnepi Pashyanti Chirna Nishkritaha Sakrinmanah Krishna Padara Vindayor. If one can meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna Pada Aravinda, even once, right? Niveshitam tad gunaragiriha. Even if one develops slight attraction towards the qualities of Krishna, nate yamam pasha bhatascha tad bhatan. Such a person need not come under the influence of Yamaraj. He need not go to hell, right? Yamam pasha bhatascha tad bhatan. Yama bhata means Yamadutas. So Yamadutas cannot even approach close to such a devotee who is thinking of Krishna's lotus feet, who is chanting Krishna's names, who has attraction for Krishna's qualities. How many qualities Krishna has? Unlimited qualities. Yeah, 64 may be counted, but Krishna is an abode of all unlimited qualities. We have enough subject matter to meditate upon. Okay. Svapnepi pashyanti hi chirna nishkritaha. So such people need not see Yamadutas even in dreams. Okay. How can they go to hell? So hellish descriptions are very, very elaborate and very scary, very frightening. But one can conveniently avoid hell by taking shelter of Krishna. And in fact, avoiding hell is such a small, insignificant byproduct of taking shelter of Krishna. Ultimately, by performing Bhakti Yoga, we not just avoid hell, we enter Goloka. We enter the spiritual world. Right? We experience spiritual world. Whether we enter or not, it depends on Krishna's decision. Maybe Krishna wants some devotees to stay in the material world also to enlighten common people. That's fine. But devotee, wherever he is, Narayana para sarve nakutaschana vibhyati svarga pavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshinaha. So Narayana para sarve nakutaschana vibhyati. Devotees are not afraid of entering hell or heaven or going to liberation. Whatever. Devotees are always accustomed to perform devotional service of Krishna wherever they are. Okay, they need not even fear hellish punishments, right? So, by performing Bhakti Yoga as prescribed by Srimad Bhagavatam repeatedly through so many examples and analogies and stories, we get fixed up in Bhakti Yoga, right? So that Bhakti Yoga protects us from all material sufferings, and Krishna will personally take charge of such a devotee. So Krishna is described in the prayers of Prachetas like this: Namo Namah Klesha Vinashanaya Nirupito Dara Guna Vayayam Mano Vacho Vega Puro Javaya Sarvaksha Margairadhatadhvane Namaha. Namo Namaha Klesha Vinashanaya. Krishna is described as one who completely destroys all the kleshas, all the material sufferings of his devotees. Klesha Vinashanaya. Nirupita Udara Guna Ahvayaya. His gunas, qualities, Ahvaya, names, are Udara, extremely benevolent. The benevolence, the compassion, the mercy of Krishna is repeatedly described in Bhagavatam. Nirupita, it has been proved, this conclusion has been settled. There are hundreds of proofs how merciful Krishna is towards his devotees. So, towards the demons also, right? He kills them, but he gives liberation to them, right? Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Vrajeva. Who else can be more merciful than Krishna? Putana's episode. So, Krishna is very merciful, okay? So, that mercy of Krishna is our hope. So, if you take shelter of Krishna, Krishna's names, by following various processes of Bhakti Yoga, there is no fear of hell. Yamaraj himself tells the Yamadutas, in the 6th canto only, somewhere in the 3rd chapter, Yamaraj informs his Yamadutas. He says, Jihvana Bhakti Bhagavad Gunana Madheyam Chetaschana Smarati Taccharanara Vindam Krishnaya no Namati Yachira Ekadapi Tananavadhamasato Krita Vishnu Krityan Jihva na Bhakti Bhagavad Gunanama Dheyam. One who has not utilized his tongue to utter the glories of Krishna. Bhagavad Guna Nama Dheyam. If we don't use our tongue to chant Krishna's names or describe Krishna's qualities, relish Krishna's qualities, then we will go to hell. Chetaschana Smarati Taccharanara Vindam. One who has not utilized his cheta, his mind, to remember Krishna's lotus feet, to meditate on Krishna's lotus feet even once, such people will go to hell. Krishnaya no namati yachira ekadapi. One who has not offered obeisances to Krishna, namati, even once, if he has not offered dandavats to Krishna, such people can go to hell. Tananavadham asato akrita Vishnu Krityan. Bring those people to me. Yamaraj makes this clear policy of hell. Okay, there are policies, rules and regulations made by any institute, any department. So Yamaraj is handling the criminal department, and they have some policies. They will not admit anybody into hell. Okay, and they will not leave anyone from entering hell, whoever is deserving candidate. So who deserves to enter hell? One who has not chanted Krishna's name even once, one who has not meditated on Krishna's qualities even once, one who has not offered obeisances to Krishna even once, such people will go to hell. And this is the clear policy made by Yamaraj, and he instructed the Yamadutas. But the devotees who are accustomed to always chanting the holy names of Krishna, man mana bhava mad bhakto mad dhyaji mam namaskuru, such people will not go to hell. They need not go to hell. Right? So Yamaraj says, he glorifies them. Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha ye sadhava samadrusho bhagavat prapanna tanno pasidata harer gadaya bhiguptan naisham vayam nacha vayah prabhava madande te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha. So the shloka says, Yamaraj is speaking to Yamadutas. The devotees of Krishna, their glories are sung by Deva Siddhas. Te Deva Siddha Parigita Pavitra Gatha. The Pavitra Gatha, the pure, spotless glories of the devotees of Krishna are sung by great Devas and Siddhas also. Perfected beings and Devatas also chant. Ye sadhavas samadrisho bhagavat prapannaha. They are sadhavas. They are great sadhakas and they are great sadhus. Bhagavat prapannaha. They have completely taken shelter of Krishna. Okay. And they have developed this quality of equanimity. Samadrisha. Samadrisho bhagavat prapanna. Tanno pasidata harer gadaya bhiguptan. Please don't go near them. Tanna upasidata. Why? Harer gadaya abhiguptan. They are constantly protected by Lord Hari's Kaumodaki Gada. Okay. So devotees here, and Kaumodaki Gada is circling the devotees like this constantly. If someone enters the circle, Gada will punish them. And Kapil Dev also says this. Kaumodakim bhagavato dayitam smareta digdhamarati bhatasho anita kardavena mala madhuvrata varutha giropagushtam chaityasya tatvamamalam manimasya kanthe Kaumodaki bhagavato dayitam smareta. So the Kaumodaki Gada of Krishna is very, very dear to Krishna. Okay. So it is always tainted with the blood of demons who trouble the devotees. Okay. So sometimes the devotees may be troubled by demons for some time. But Krishna will soon come and relieve them of suffering. Kamsa troubled Devaki and Vasudeva. How long? For the rest of eternity? For a few years. And in those years also, Vasudeva and Devaki were experiencing love of Krishna in separation from Krishna. Okay. How long Prahlad Maharaj was troubled by Hiranyakashipu? For some time. Narasimhadev came and killed Hiranyakashipu. Okay. So like that, the Lord punishes those people who trouble devotees. Okay. But if Lord is there as constant protector of his devotees, where is the possibility of devotees entering hell? Okay. So, Tanno pasigitata harer gadaya bhiguptan naisham vayam nachavayah prabhavamadande. Here Yamaraj is saying that I have no influence over them. Time factor has no influence over them. And Brahma also cannot influence them. Devotees are beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj, Brahma, and time factor also. So repeatedly, in various episodes, Bhagavatam is recommending Bhakti Yoga. Although Bhagavatam is describing the 26 or 28 hellish planets, very scary places, still Bhagavatam says we can easily avoid this hell. Okay, you don't even have to fear entering any of these places. But our whole responsibility is that how to help others in avoiding the hell. If we take shelter of Bhakti Yoga sincerely, we definitely avoid hell. But idea of preaching or outreach or spreading Krishna consciousness is this only. Just helping people not entering hell. So, and of course, devotee can be confident of Krishna's protection, but devotee should not be overconfident. Okay. So devotees should not be overconfident, because whatever I do, Krishna is there to protect me. At least I have chanted once Krishna's name. I offered obeisances once. Okay, so I thought of Krishna sometimes. So I did not go to hell. So I can do anything I want. So that kind of overconfidence and recklessness and carelessness is not the characteristic of a devotee. A devotee has healthy fear of Maya and a humble prayer that he offers for protection from Krishna, by Krishna. So, fear of fall down and prayer for protection. So, these two things are very important as indicated in the 9th chapter of the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam in Brahma's prayers. Right? So, devotee has healthy fear of Maya, healthy fear of fall down. Okay, I may get distracted from bhakti any moment. Somehow, by the grace of acharyas, by the grace of gurus and Vaishnavas, by the grace of Krishna, I received this opportunity to chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavatam, be in the association of devotees, worship the deities, and go to dhams. I have access to all the 5 potent forms of devotional service. Let me not lose this opportunity by being so careless and reckless. Okay, so that's why devotees always pray to Krishna to keep their determination on in the process of devotional service. So, just like Gajendra offered prayer to Krishna, Krishna, please protect me. So, the mood of Gajendra is helplessness. Okay. When we offer prayer to the Lord in a helpless state of mind, with a desperate mood, that Krishna, you are the only protector. And when we completely give up the conceptions of ourselves as the doers or self-protectors, then such a humble devotee will definitely attract Krishna's mercy. Samsarambhasi sambharta bhrama bhare gambhirata patraya grahena bhigrihita mugragatina kroshantamantar bhayat Diprena sudarshanena vibudha kalati chinda krida Chinta santati ruddha muddhara hare macchitta dantishwaram. So here okay, so tapatrayas are gambhira, the threefold miseries, that miseries caused by body and mind, adhyatmika kleshas, miseries caused by other living beings, adi bhautika kleshas, miseries caused by supernatural powers, adi daivika kleshas. So all these tapatrayas are very gambhira, very grave. They torment the living beings a lot. Samsarambhasi sambharta bhrama bhare gambhira tapatraya. This samsara ambhasi, this ocean of samsara is filled with bhrama, illusion, confusion, bewilderment, misconceptions, and gambhira tapatraya, threefold material miseries. So what does this material world consist? What are the ingredients with which this material world is made? That is tapatrayas and confusions, right? Bhrama. And we are caught up like that, caught up in that water of samsara, like this Gajendra. Grahena bhigrihita mugragatina kroshantamantar bhayat. Grahena. Graha means crocodile. So this crocodile has caught me. My mind is like elephant that is drowning in the waters of this material ocean that is filled with illusion and tapatrayas. My mind is like that elephant. And there is this strong and ferocious crocodile, Graha. Okay. And here in this shloka, Graha is and it is caught by the crocodile of threefold material miseries and crying out of pain. Okay, so much of crying. So antar bhayat kroshantam Krosha, akrosha means crying, lamenting, tears are coming. So, antarbhayat. So, suddenly you are caught up in an ocean and you are caught by a crocodile. Will you not become afraid? Out of bhaya, antarbhayat, out of deep fear within, we cry. So, my position is like a crocodile, like a elephant that is caught by a crocodile and crying and lamenting and praying for your mercy, praying that you come and rescue. Deeprena adya sudarshanena vibudha kalani chidakarina. So please release your effulgent Sudarshana chakra, okay, chidakarina, to cut the neck of this crocodile. Okay, so you please release the Sudarshan chakra, your glowing Sudarshan chakra, to rescue me and cut this sufferings to pieces. This is my humble prayer, O Lord. So, and even in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, there is this shloka. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to South India Yatra, all the great philosophers and all, they are considered like, non-devotional philosophies are considered like crocodiles that are catching the elephants of South Indian people. Okay, so Mahaprabhu went there like Lord Hari to cut them and rescue them. Okay, so this is the position of a devotee, where he humbly offers prayers to the Lord to rescue oneself from all kinds of material calamities. Okay, so not that a devotee is not inclined to undergo the punishment or the reaction for his own past misdeeds. That's not the problem of a devotee. When a devotee understands that I have done some mistake, I have done so many misdeeds, so many sinful activities, so many aparats, and if Krishna sanctions a punishment for me, for my own purification, I accept it. Okay, devotee doesn't want to avoid punishment. However, what is devotee's fear? Why devotee is praying, Krishna, please protect me, please protect me? Is it protection from punishment? No. Punishment is also protection. Devotee understands this. Then what is this prayer for protection? It's a prayer to protect oneself from the distractions of the material world, from the temptations of the material world. For whatever mistakes I have done so far, I will undergo punishment. But let me not get allured by Maya, and let me not get distracted from your devotion, from your bhakti. This is the prayer of a devotee, right? Devotee doesn't specifically pray for material wealth.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it got disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he'll join back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he's back now. Prabhuji back.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay. So, the devotees constantly pray for the Krupa of the Lord. Even now, today onwards, the Jagannatha Snanayatra began, and then we will be singing this Jagannatha Ashtakam. Okay. So, one of the shlokas there, Krupa Paravarasa Jala Jalada Shredi Ruchiro Ramavani Ramaspurada Mala Pankhe Ruhamukha Surendra Radha Sruti Gana Sikha Gita Charito Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. So Kripa Paravara Sajala Jalada Shredi Ruchiro. Oh Jagannath ji, you're an ocean of mercy, right? You look so beautiful, as beautiful as a row of dark rain clouds, monsoon clouds, but you're an ocean of mercy. So, what do the monsoon clouds do? Monsoon began here in India. So monsoon clouds shower rains. And the monsoon cloud of Lord Jagannath ji, he would shower the rains of his mercy. Right? Rama Vani Rama Spurada Mala Pankhe Ruhamukha. And is also a storehouse of happiness, bliss. Right? And his face resembles spotless, fully blossomed lotus. Okay. Surendra Radhya Sruti Gana Sikha Gita Charito. Not only human beings desperately pray for the Lord's mercy, Surendra, even the king of Devatas also, even the great sages also, they pray for the Lord's mercy. Even the Upanishads also pray for Lord's mercy. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatumi. So a devotee is constantly praying for the Lord's blessings, Lord's mercy. So here the process of Bhakti Yoga done with full sincerity and selflessness will save us from entering hell. And like once we cross this thought of, oh, this hell is so miserable, I should avoid this, but our thought should not be just dwelling on that one point only, that I should avoid hell. So overcome that fear, and there is a lot for us to get excited with. There is a lot in life, in the devotional life, to get excited with. So the names of the Lord, as a part of our practice of Bhakti Yoga, we chant the names of the Lord, how sweet they are. And we hear the pastimes of the Lord, how great they are. We remember the Lord, we remember the qualities of the Lord, how benevolent are Krishna's qualities. So there is enough positive and enlivening and blissful subject matter for us to meditate upon. Okay. Namani pranayena te sukrutinam tanvanti tundotsavam dhamani prathayanti hanta jalada shyamani netranjanam samani shriti sushkulim muralika jatanyalam kurvate kamani vrita chetasam iha vibho nashapi nashobhate. Here Rupa Goswami is saying, Namani pranayenati sukrutinam tanvanti tundotsavam. O Lord, Namani, your beautiful names, your sweet names of Krishna, Govinda, Madhava, Madhusudana, Murari, Trivikrama, Vamana. They are all the names of the Lord that indicate his powers and qualities and activities. But the names of the Lord that describe his relationship with his devotees are very exciting to the Lord. When we call the Lord, when we call out the names of the Lord in connection with his devotees, the Lord becomes very excited. Sanatana Goswami wrote one beautiful shloka. He says, Radha Radhita Radhesha Radhika Pranavallabha Radha Ramana Vandetvam Radhika Prema Nirjita. He is basically wanting to glorify Krishna, but this entire shloka is filled with Radharani's names, right? Radha Radhita, one name of Krishna is Radha Aradhita. He is always worshipped by Radharani. Radhesha is the master of Radharani, he is the lord of Radharani. Radha Radhita Radhesha Radhika Pranavallabha. He is the lord of the life of Radharani. He is the life and soul of Srimati Radharani. Okay. Then Radha Ramana, he is the enjoyer of Radharani. Vandetvam, I offer my obeisances unto you. Radhika Prema Nirjita. In the first three lines, Sanatana Goswami describes how the Supreme Lord Krishna is the master of Radharani, controller, etc., etc. But last line, he is defeated by Radharani. Okay. Radhika Prema Nirjita. He is controlled, captivated, subdued by the love of Radharani. Radhika Prema Nirjita. So like that, Krishna has unlimited names. Namani pranayena te sukrutinam tanvanti tundotsavam. So Namani pranayena, with love, if you just chant the holy names of Krishna affectionately, Sukritina means one who has some piety, This is not, by the way, this is not material piety, it is spiritual piety. Sukritana refers to devotees only here. So we devotees are fortunate enough to chant your holy names affectionately. Namani pranayena te sukrutinam tanvanti tundotsavam. Tanvanti means the names of the Lord will manifest on the tongue of a devotee. Mahaprabhu also loves this shloka so much. Tunde tandavini ratim vitanute tundavali rabdhaye. When I'm chanting the holy names of Krishna, then I desire millions of to utter the names of Krishna, 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 or any other names of Krishna, Radha, Ramana, like that. Namani pranayena te sukrutinam tanvanti tundotsavam dhamani prathayanti hanta jalada syamani netranjanam. So dhamani refers to Krishna's beautiful bodily complexion. Dhamani, okay. So Krishna's bodily complexion resembles a dark monsoon cloud. Dhamani prathayanti hanta. You manifest such a beautiful bodily complexion that resembles the color of a freshly blossomed blue lotus, bathed with moonlight, right? Dhamani prathayanti hanta. Jalada. Jalada means, jala means water. Jalada means that which gives water. That is cloud. Okay. What is the specific dhama? Complexion of Krishna's body? The complexion of a cloud. Jalada syamani netranjanam. That beautiful bluish complexioned body of Krishna is like ointment for my eyes, right? So people decorate their eyes with some ointment, right? Netranjanam. So our netranjanam is premanjanam. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochane. Each other. So dhamani prathayanti hanta jalada shyamani netranjanam. The beautiful form of Krishna, bodily splendor of Krishna that resembles a dark monsoon cloud is the black ointment of our eyes. Samani shruti sushkulim. So Krishna's flute produces such beautiful notes, such wonderful sounds that even mesmerize the masters of musical science in the upper planets and even Vaikuntha. Vishnu gets mesmerized, Shiva gets mesmerized, Indra gets mesmerized, Brahma gets mesmerized. They all have sufficient understanding of the musical science, but Krishna can completely captivate them. Samani shruti sushkulim muralika Jatanyalankurvate. Sushkuli means this ears. This whole thing is ear. Sushkuli is this portion of the ear, especially this one, the hanging one. Okay. So people put their earrings here, right? So the music of Krishna, the music emanated from Krishna is, or the sound vibration about Krishna is the real ornament of our ears, right? This is ornament of Radharani's ears also. The earrings that ornament Radharani's ears are Krishna's holy names. Vibho nashapi nashobhati. In comparison to all these excitements, namani, dhamani, samani, kamani will not stay there. Okay. Namani, Krishna's names, dhamani, Krishna's beauty, and samani, Krishna's music. In that, in front of all these three exciting things, kama cannot stay. All my desires for material enjoyment are completely destroyed by my absorption in the various features of your divine transcendental form, my dear Lord. So Rupa Goswami says like this: Kamani vrita chetasam iha vibho nashapi nah shobhate. We no longer take any pleasure in our material desires, right? So our material desires no longer appear beautiful to us. So to this degree, a soul, a spirit soul, has the potential to relish Krishna consciousness. Where is hell in the whole picture? Okay, so we don't have to be overconfident that we need not go to hell. We have to be very confident of Krishna's protection, and parallelly, we have to be sufficiently fearful of Maya and distractions. So there is prayer for protection. Krishna, let me not fall prey to Maya. But if I develop real attraction to Krishna's names and forms and pastimes, then there is sufficient protection by Krishna. He can completely destroy this samsara. Surapati. Oh Lord, Surapati, you are the Lord of all Devatas also. All Suras also report to you. You are their master, they are your servants, right? Haratvam samsaram, we can quickly remove this useless material existence that I am undergoing, right? Haratvam papanam vitatim aparam yadavapate. And you can also destroy my papas. Haratvam papanam vitatim aparam. Unlimited papas I have, unlimited sinful reactions I have. You can completely nullify them, destroy them. Oh Yadavapati. Aho dinena the nihita charano nischitam idam. So, nischitam idam. For certainty, surely, I have taken shelter at your lotus feet. Oh Dinanatha, aho dine nathe, nihita. For sure, certainly, I take your shelter only. Nishchitam, there is no going back on this. When we take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, then he will destroy the samsara and papa. Haratvam samsaram, haratvam papanam. Because he is Dinanatha. First, we need to identify ourselves as Dinas. And we have to identify Krishna as Dinanatha. Then we get that kripa paravara. Okay. So the Lord is eager to give his mercy. And we need to be eager to grab that mercy. Problem is, many other material desires come on the way to distract us from receiving Krishna's mercy. That's why devotees also reconfirm, my dear Lord, I don't want anything else. I don't want na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. I don't want wealth. I don't want enjoyment with opposite gender. I don't want followers. I don't want fan following. I don't want anything. Kanakamanikya vibhavam. I don't want a royal throne, great simhasan which is bedecked with and I also don't beg for any beautiful wife. I simply pray that you show mercy upon me. May you be my object of my constant vision. Pramathapatina Gita Charito, your glories are sung even by Lord Shiva also. Pramathapati refers to Lord Shiva. He is singing your glories. Oh Lord, because he is singing your glories, Pramathapati also, we have to follow his footsteps because he is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Okay, so we need to follow the footsteps of great Vaishnavas like Lord Shiva. He also chanted Rudra Gita, okay, and take shelter of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Then samsara and the hell in this samsara will not affect us. Padurvibahulam samyak pravishya sthitah nana jnanamapasya chetasi namo narayana yatyamum mantram sapranavam pranama sahitam pravartayedham. Here he says, Kulashekaral verses in Mukundamala Stotra. He amartyaha paramam hitam shrunutavo vakshyami sankhepatah. I'm going to give you one advice, very valuable advice. Paramam hitam shrunutavo. It causes you greatest welfare. You hear it very carefully. Okay. What is that? Vakshyami sankhepatah. Don't worry. I will not elaborate. I will speak concisely. I will finish it fast. Don't worry. Vitam cha saram cha chohi vagmita. Vagmita, eloquence means essential truth spoken concisely. Kaviraj Goswami's definition in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So yesterday we had one session by children. I was hearing Bhagavad Kathas by so many children, our Bhagavatam tales course. So many people, many kids spoke very eloquently. So here Kulashekaral also says, eloquently I will speak the essence. Please understand your situation. What is your situation? He says, samsararnava mapadurmi bahulam samyak pravishya sthitah. We have entered deep into this ocean of samsara. And that ocean of samsara is characterized by millions of, waves that are material miseries. So material miseries are the waves of the samsara. Please understand this and take shelter of Krishna. Nana jnanamapasya chetasi namo narayana yatyamum. Keep aside all that jnana, all the knowledge that you have concocted or imagined or acquired to get out of this samsara. You can't do anything. So to get out of an ocean which is infested with so many sharks, so many sharks of anarthas and six senses, we just need a boat. No other solution will work. And that boat is Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna's holy. So chant that Namo. Great souls. So all of us have this potency, this ability to relish Krishna's holy names in this way, in such a great manner. But our distractions and our attraction towards material pleasures will not allow us to relish Krishna's holy names. Okay, so we need to take shelter of Bhakti Yoga. In it is any significant byproduct of chanting Krishna's names or practicing Bhakti Yoga. Yoga Shritya Papatti Nirjanavana Dhyanadha Sambhavita Swarajyam Pratipadya Nirbhayamabhi Mukta Bhavantu Dvija Asmakam Tu Kadamba Kunja Kuhara Pronmila Dindivara Shrenishyamala Dhama Nama Jushatam Janmastu Lakshavadhi. So Yoga Shrutya Papatti Nirjanavana. There are so many yogis and jnanis, mumukshus, liberation seekers. They may go to Nirjanavana. Nirjanavana means solitary forests to perform some meditation, okay, and to get liberation. So meditation to get liberation. Let them get liberated. I have no issue with that. Okay, I don't interfere with them. Let them get excited in that way. But asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhara pronmila dindivara. as far as we are concerned, we devotees are concerned, we just want to absorb our minds in chanting the holy names of Krishna life after life. Okay, so there is a nice Kadamba forest that is filled with blossoming Kadamba flowers, and they are just falling down, okay, in a lake. So the lake is surrounded by Kadamba trees, and the lake has nicely blossoming bluish lotus flowers, and the Kadamba pollen is falling. So that combination of blue and gold represents Krishna's body. Krishna is blue in complexion, and his dhoti is in yellow. And okay, all the shloka doesn't say that. We can conveniently observe a small inference that yellow can represent Radharani and that blue can represent Krishna also. Okay, Radha and Krishna. Asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhara pronmila dindivara Shreyani shyamala dhama nama jushatam Janmastu lakshavadhi. Laksha janmas, hundreds and thousands of births, I can spend my time chanting your names. Who has such a beautiful body, beautiful form. So attraction in Krishna's beautiful form and features and absorption in Krishna's holy names is what is the job profile or the agenda of a devotee. Okay, and not entering hell and other things will just are there in the background. Okay, so we just have to access that potential by following the simple regimen given to us by the acharyas. Prabhupada has given a regimen to access all this opulence, the real opulence. Sarvaishwaryaika mantram. So the holy name of Krishna can completely bestow all the aishwaryas, all the opulences. The real opulence of a devotee, of a soul, is love for Krishna. Krishna prema is our real opulence. We don't have any other opulence. So all opulence we have is our love for Krishna. And we can regain that opulence. We can become proprietors of unlimited Krishna prema by the mercy of Krishna. Okay. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this very, very wonderful class. It was very enlightening to know that even in Srimad Bhagavatam, as Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation, Parikshit Maharaj is also asking the later stages of atonement. He was not satisfied with the answers of Sukadeva Goswami. So it was very interesting to know that part, Prabhuji, and also the importance of chanting and devotional service. It has to be continued life after life. So that is our goal. So we should concentrate more on that instead of getting out of hellish planets and all these things. It was really very enlightening, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji, yeah, we have one question in the chat that's asking about what is mumukshu.
Mumukshu means those who desire moksha, those who desire liberation.
Okay, Prabhuji. So now I request Gail Mataji, you can go ahead with your question.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, two questions, if I may. One is this refers to prayaschitta. So my understanding is that one cannot negate a sinful activity or the reactions of a sinful activity by performing a pious activity, right? And so I would like to understand, therefore, why prayaschitta would be effective. How is that different from performing a pious activity to try to negate the reaction of a sinful activity?
That's why one thing is Parikshit Maharaj rejected the whole process. He said, even if it happens to remove the reaction to the sin committed, the sinful propensity is still there, sinful desires are still there, So prayaschitta can definitely not remove the sinful desire. So that's why we eliminate that as a solution for entering hell. Okay.
Yes, yeah, I understood that point, but still, the prayaschitta, it
There may
can.
be some prayashchittas that might counteract some reaction. Okay, in the karma kandic sections of the scriptures, some kind of prayashchittas are recommended to avoid some reactions. If something is serious, they may have to undergo, but some can be counteracted also through some karma kandic prayashchittas. But they never guarantee that he will never commit any sinful activity anymore.
Yeah, right. But so therefore, it seems to contradict this point, though, that you cannot negate or counteract a sinful activity with it.
To some degree. Okay, that's a totally different context, but to some degree, it can counteract.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, second question, last question is, is it, as you made the point that devotees, they don't want to, their objective is not to avoid hell. Their objective is love for Krishna. But if we perform our devotional service in the hopes of avoiding hell, especially chanting, right? If we do japa because we don't want to go to hell, is that not like an offense to the holy name?
Offense. Definitely, it's an offense.
Okay.
It's an offense.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any
Mataji,
other questions?
Yeah, Radha Mataji, you can please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the beautiful class. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhu, I have a very basic question. When you said, when Yamraj is saying that even the name of Krishna chanted once will not go to hell. So in India, everybody chants the name of Krishna at least once. So
Yeah.
will none of the Indian will go to hell?
No, like Yamaraj said, those who have not chanted even once, those who have not remembered Krishna even once, those who have not offered obeisances to Krishna even once, you bring them to hell. Akrita Vishnu Kritya. But he doesn't say those who chant only once, don't bring them. He said those who didn't, the literal meaning of the shloka I'm just saying, those who have not chanted or heard even once, such people you should bring. Okay, and now the next case is, what if one person chants only once or few times? If it is with pure devotion, or at least with a intention to develop pure devotion, definitely they will not go to hell. But if it is just accidental, still that accidental chanting will definitely purify them. However, we see this example of Nriga. This Nriga, definitely he must have chanted the names of Krishna, but he had to just, because of some kind of, cows, charity and dispute with Brahmanas, he had to just visit hell for a while and then undergo that reaction as lizard and then go to heaven, and then finally he must have attained a better spiritual destination. But these kinds of descriptions need not minimize our enthusiasm to develop pure devotion and relish chanting of holy names in a pure manner. Okay, so when there is an extreme mercy shown upon even sinful people or even demons also, that we can appreciate Krishna's benevolence, and that is not an encouragement for us to not come to the high standard. Like 35% also maybe pass in our days when we were studying, but we can get 90% also, we get 95% also, we get 100% also. Okay, so the aim of a soul, pure spirit soul, is to develop complete Krishna prema, rather than just avoiding hell. Okay, and by Krishna's extreme benevolence, he may sometimes relieve somebody from that hellish suffering also, even with little amount of bhakti, accidental chanting. But our focus is different. Makes sense, Mataji? Or
Completely, Prabhu. The reason I asked it, no way to minimize, because those who have tasted bhakti, they really know what is it. But at the same time, it is so difficult to make some people understand. But they do take the name of Krishna, as I said, it's about especially in India. But then they do not understand the bhakti. So I was asking for them, not for the devotees as such, but there are many people, and we feel sad and sometimes frustrated. I mean, when it's being told again and again, why do you not understand? But if we understand this, even if to certain extent they are taking Krishna's name or something, some discount is there, then the feeling sorry for them will reduce. So that's why I was asking, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very beautiful answer.
Even accidental chanting of the holy names also will purify a person. Sanketyam, Parihasyam, Vyastobham, Helanameva, all these great references are there in the Bhagavatam. Yes, they will be purified to some degree, certainly, but there's much more to achieve.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Thank you, Mataji. So I request Megha Mataji to ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Very beautiful class, Prabhuji. It was very enlightening. One question I have is, so what, I'm not really understanding. I think I have so many different questions, but I'm going to try to state them in a way that may be understood, but I'm sorry if it's confusing. Because I myself is a little confused.
Not completely. So, can you be a little louder?
Oh, hold on. Is this better, Prabhuji?
Okay, you can speak.
Okay. So hold on. So I was wanting to ask, what is how do we know that we're performing bhakti? I mean, we get the taste, of bhakti, like the attachment to Krishna. We don't have attachment to the mundane material objects, but then sometimes we're still, false ego is there. I think that's the biggest thing. So I personally, my understanding is when you have even this false ego, this is when you would get a little frustrated or sad about something, because somewhat, even though it's someone else's fault, we're thinking we're right and our words should be, I guess it's the correct way to think, right? So that is false ego in my way, or my understanding of thinking. So I don't know if there's a real, how do we know we're performing real bhakti? Because you also said knowledge, is not enough, because even with knowledge, the propensity to sin, perform sinful activity is there. But in Bhagavad Gita, we read, with knowledge, you have to cut, the sword of knowledge, you have to cut this attachment to this material things, right? In chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga. So now, how do I know that this is real bhakti or not? I mean, sometimes, and love should be not interrupted. So sometimes, you feel this bhakti, you feel, at least you think, this, but then sometimes you don't. So how do we know we're doing the right process? We sometimes misunderstand bhakti to be raga, like the sadhana bhakti, right? We think that we're doing everything and this is bhakti, but it's not really bhakti. I don't know if it is really bhakti. If there's, interruptions, we still feel this, sadness sometimes, or how do we know this bhakti? What is bhakti? Can you give me a very clear definition? I think. Am I being understood? I don't know if I'm making sense, Prabhuji, but
according to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Rupa Goswami, and also according to Srimad Bhagavatam, written by Vyasadeva and spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Basically, bhakti means devotional service unto Krishna, which is done without any material motivations and without any interruptions. Okay, and that bhakti is at two levels. One is sadhana bhakti, second is sadhya bhakti. Sadhya means perfected bhakti. Somebody is perfect in devotional service, completely perfect. Okay, no distractions, no deviations, no falling down. Okay, no reduction of Krishna consciousness. That is sadhya, that is perfect. The lower level many of us are in is sadhana bhakti, which is practice of devotional service. So the practice, in the stage of practice of bhakti, we engage our senses in Krishna's service. Our eyes, our tongue, our nose and our legs, our hands, all these senses we engage in Krishna's service, so that we develop bhava, emotions for Krishna, loving emotions for Krishna. So that is the definition of sadhana bhakti. Okay, and definition, ultimate definition of uttama bhakti is anyabhilashara sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. Not desiring anything else other than Krishna's pleasure, anya bhilashita sunyam. And our bhakti should not be covered by jnana and karma. Jnana means knowledge. Yeah, we should have knowledge. Devotees also have knowledge. But that knowledge is not that kind of knowledge by which one wants to attain liberation. Okay, and it's definitely not material knowledge. We have knowledge of nama, rupa, guna, lila of Krishna. Okay, so this is pure devotional knowledge and spiritual knowledge. But there are other flavors of knowledge. That kind of knowledge pursuits should not cover our bhakti. Similarly, it should not be covered by karma, jnana, karma, dhyanavartam. Then anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. Our activities and our thoughts should be favorably intended towards Krishna's service, not unfavorable. That is called bhakti uttama, uttama bhakti. There is more details. I just gave a concise definition. So uttama bhakti is that which is done with an intention to please Krishna. Okay, without any interruptions and without any distractions, without any material motives. So now at sadhaka stage, we may have certain impure motives and irregularities because we are sadhakas, we are in practice stage. But if our intention is pure, ultimately at this moment I may have a lot of material desires or some other anarthas, envy, pride, etc., etc. At this moment my heart is not completely pure. But I intend to purify my heart by practicing bhakti. Then we are a bona fide sadhaka. Sadhaka is not one who is completely purified of all anarthas, completely purified of all distractions or deviations. So sadhaka is a one who has full determination on the path, who intends to connect with Krishna. Okay, while doing so, one may fall off. The learning cycle. Okay, bicycle. When I was very young, I was learning bicycle. So I was not tall enough to sit on the seat. So I would just put the cycle seat below my arm, okay, and then hold the handle like this, and then put my leg in the like on the other pedal between the, what is that called? The triangle is there, right? So somehow I try to do that. So slowly I try to sit on the seat. In attempting to do so, I may fall down many times. So when I fall down, again I take support from the ground, and again I get up and then sit on the seat and then continue. So you manage to ride the cycle like that. Because you are not tall enough, you may have to push the pedal down. So with a lot of energy, push the one pedal down and the other one will come up, right? Then you can pick it up. Then you take it up. So like that, we are not tall enough. Means we are not mature enough. We are not experienced enough. We may fall. But the intention to learn cycle nicely should be there, is there. Similarly, while practicing bhakti, sometimes we may get distracted, we may get some other unnecessary thoughts and other inconsistencies may be there. However, when we intend to improve, Krishna will help us. We should not feel discouraged or demotivated or dejected when we are distracted. But we should be determined to continue on the path of devotional service and get support from Krishna. Then we are bona fide sadhakas. Okay. If the distractions are not there, We are not hadhakas, we are perfected devotees. The very fact that there are distractions in our bhakti shows that we are not yet perfect. We are practicing stage. Let the practice continue. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a very good question, and thank you, Prabhuji, for that very practical example and on the answer. I request now Sukukara Krishnadas. Prabhuji, can you please ask your question?
Can I ask the question, ma'am? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji. Gauranga Prabhu, it's such wonderful class. You gave so many slokas connecting everything, what is happening. And so I got some question, Prabhuji. My name is Sukakar Krishnadas from Chennai and Jayaptak Maharaj disciple. So about this chanting, actually I'm for last 31 years, initiation is over. Listening the chanting, in the Zoom chanting, around 50 people chant. But you told the absorption of chanting, blissfulness, and relish the chanting in pure devotion. That, can you tell how it can be increased better? I'm trying to hear all the 16 rounds. There is good, but to make it more absorbing.
Okay, how to make the chanting more absorbing? That's what is your question?
Yeah.
Okay. You can ask someone who is chanting with more absorption. I'm also struggling in my chanting, I confess. But we should just pray for Krishna's grace, and we can sit with another devotee whose chanting is better than ours. We can pray. Prayer association will definitely help us. Okay, I'm also trying my best.
Because
Okay,
from the spiritual understanding, attachments and all, we know that we should be totally attached to Krishna, detached attachment only for the pleasure of the Lord. But that family and all those things are not going out 100%. In the sense, still there is knowing that this is my daughter, this is my son-in-law, all these things should not be coming at all. Because everybody is a child of Krishna. So we should not make any distinction between our family or outsiders. Jiva. That level is not come. It's not completely allured to Krishna.
Okay. So as long as we are in a family, it's our responsibility to take care of the family members. And that caring for the family members' responsibility doesn't put us out of the realm of pure devotional service. Right? If one is thinking of daughter or son-in-law, whatever it may be, that's perfectly all right. That's one of the duties of a Vaishnava who is practicing devotional service in a family setup, right? So, but we just need to recognize all of them, all the family members as children of Krishna.
Yes.
So that is, when that consciousness is there, in the mood of service, we render service to our family members also. Then that is our bhakti, taking care of family members.
Last one, Prabhu. How to make 24 hours uninterrupted chanting. I'm retired. But a whole day, some Zoom classes like your classes, I keep on doing. But chanting only around 20 rounds I'm doing. But actually, 64 rounds can be done. Or it can be like, whenever we are just keeping quiet, just chant. How to get that habit? 24 hours.
And if you have the time and bandwidth to do so many rounds, maybe you can slowly increase 20, maybe next 1 week, 21 rounds. In a month, you come to 22 rounds. In 2-3 months, you come to 25 rounds. So like that, slowly, one by one, we can increase.
But probably the thing is, the whole day I'm spending in 5-6 Zoom classes like this, Sangha. So I'm not wasting at all.
Whatever inspires you, Prabhu. If you feel like hearing, then that's also devotional engagement. If you feel like chanting, there is also devotional engagement. Either hearing or chanting. We are doing Krishna consciousness. Both are fine.
Thank you. I thought chanting is the topmost. That's why I was asking you whether to prioritize that only.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you. So lastly, I request Bhakti Pradamataji, you can ask your question.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is from the 4th chapter, Prithu Maharaj. Actually, yesterday we were reading about this Prithu Maharaj, about the sages. They were glorifying Prithu Maharaj, saying that because of you, Vena will not go to the Narak. He will not go to the hellish planets. That is Put Nama Narak. He will not go. Sorry for the sound backgrounds. So he will not go. So there in purport, Prabhupada is writing that the son will deliver the father if son is a good, if he is doing all the like grihastha dharmas, whatever it is prescribed. If he is doing devotional service, then he will go back to the father will go back to the back to Godhead, right? So like Prabhuji, my question is like in Shastras, so many places we see Puminam Narak Putra will deliver the father. What about the mothers? What about the ladies? Is there any specific Narak for them also where they go and how they can be delivered? Is my question which was raised yesterday, Prabhuji.
Yesterday means in another class.
No, we read by ourselves. We have to read, right, Prabhuji? So when I was reading, I am in the 4th chapter, part 2.
When you
So
say 4 fathers, that includes parents, fathers and mothers both. That's what I feel.
But
not
it is
that
prescribed there
separate
only.
father. Huh?
It is
And
prescribed.
sister.
No, shall I read whatever I read, Prabhuji? Might be I cannot convey properly. I mean, I did not convey properly. 1 second. Yeah. Text 46, Prabhuji, Canto 4, Chapter 21. They all declared that the Vedic conclusion that one can conquer the heavenly planets by the action of a putra or son was fulfilled. For the most sinful Vena, who had been killed by the curse of the Brahmanas, was now delivered from the darkest region of hellish life by his son, Maharaj Prithu. Purport. According to Vedic version, there is a hellish planet called Put, and one who delivers a person from there is called Putra. The purpose of marriage, therefore, is to have a putra or son who is able to deliver his father. Even if the father falls down to the hellish condition of Put, Maharaj Prithu's father, Vena, was a most sinful person and was therefore cursed to death by the Brahmanas. Now, all the great saintly persons, sages and Brahmanas present in the meeting, after hearing from the Maharaj Prithu about his great mission in life, became convinced that the statement of the Vedas had been fully proved. The purpose of accepting a wife in religious marriage, as sanctioned in the Vedas, is to have a putra, a son qualified to deliver his father from the darkest region of hellish life. Marriage is not intended for son's gratification, but for getting a son fully qualified to deliver his father. But if son is raised to become an unqualified demon, how can he deliver his father from hellish life? It is therefore the duty of the father to become a Vaishnava and raise his children to become Vaishnavas. Then, even if by chance the father falls into the hellish life in his next birth, such a son can deliver him, as Maharaj Prithu delivered his father. So next in text 47, it is given about Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhuji. Yeah, sorry. Thank you.
So their father is the top rank. Okay, that does not eliminate the mother. So when you say that Punnama Naraka, Put hell, it's not necessarily that only fathers are delivered, mothers are also delivered. This is my little understanding.
Okay. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Because mother is not mentioned, you're saying, is it only for fathers? What about mothers?
Yeah.
I feel both are in. We can ask some scholarly devotees. Okay, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Then.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that question. Prabhuji, do you still have some or one question in chat? Should I read?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. The question is from Chaitanya Prabhu. Chaturbuddha Chaitanya Prabhu, he is asking, like, I have heard that even chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantras, still devotees may have to go to hell if tendency to commit offenses to holy name are not rectified with time. Can you elaborate on this, Prabhuji?
One thing is there, Prabhupada, बहुजन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तब न पाइबे कृष्ण पदे प्रेमधन. Okay, even if one chants for hundreds and thousands of lifetimes, he does hearing and chanting, still he may not get Krishna prema if the chanting is filled with offenses. Whether they will go to hell or not, I don't remember reading somewhere, but definitely they may not get Krishna prema if there are offenses. Okay, so this is my understanding.
Yes, Prabhuji, that makes sense. Yeah. There is one more hand raised. Pooja Arora Mataji, you can please quickly ask the question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances into your lotus feet, Prabhuji, on the auspicious day of Lord Jagannatha appearance day. Prabhuji, please, I will feel very obliged if you glorify Lord Jagannatha in few words, Prabhuji.
You are speaking, Mataji?
Mataji is asking to glorify Lord Jagannath.
Okay, we discussed some glories of Jagannath, right? We recited, I think.
Yes, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances into your lotus feet on the auspicious day of Lord Jagannath appearance day. Prabhuji, I feel very obliged if you please glorify Lord Jagannatha in few words, please.
Okay, so Jagannath ji is the Lord of the universe. Okay, Jagannath, and it's very significant for especially Gaudiya Vaishnava devotees that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had spent half of his life manifest pastimes in Jagannath Puri, right? So, and Jagannath's Ratha Yatra is a very, very special event for especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because what's happening in Jagannath Ratha Yatra is Lord Jagannath is Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is Radharani, and Gundicha temple is Vrindavan Dham, and the whole Ratha Yatra is the eagerness of the gopis headed by Radharani to take Krishna from this Aishwarya, place of Aishwarya pastimes to place of Madhurya pastimes, right? So the place of majesty to the place of simplicity, the place of opulence to the place of simplicity, to the place of innocence. So, in fact, it is the greatest excitement of Krishna also to spend his time in Vrindavan with all his Vrajavasi devotees, and he doesn't get so much pleasure in his association, in his company with other devotees, okay, outside Vrindavan. Yes, he definitely gives his association and company to others also, but he's most excited in Vrindavan. So Jagannath Rath Yatra signifies Srimati Radharani's heartfelt appeal to Krishna to come back to Vrindavan, and especially in the 13th chapter of Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the emotions of Radharani are so beautifully like demonstrated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while he is pulling the rath of Jagannath ji. Nagani apani dukha dekhi vrajeshwari mukha. Krishna, did you forget all the Vrajavasis? If you are so indifferent and insensitive to my emotions, at least look at the face of your mother, Srimati Yashoda Mata. Right? At least for her you come. Did you forget Yamuna? I am not feeling the same ecstasy. These are the same monsoon. These are the same Kadamba, the breezes coming from Kadamba groves. This is the same season. Same flowers are blooming, but I am not getting the same ecstasy because I am seeing you Kurukshetra. Basically, at Kurukshetra, when all the gopis of Vrindavan saw Krishna, he was dressed like a prince. Okay. So in Vrindavan, Krishna wears a simple dhoti and decorated by forest flowers and forest flower garlands and surrounded by cows and calves and bulls and gopas. But and he wears a nice turban. But in Kurukshetra, Krishna wore a crown riding on chariots. In Vrindavan, Krishna doesn't ride on chariots. And Kurukshetra, Krishna is surrounded by so many soldiers and horses and elephants, not cows and monkeys and peacocks. So seeing that majestic appearance of Krishna, Radharani is not getting the same mood, same ecstasy of seeing Krishna. So that's why she pulled Krishna within her heart only towards Vrindavan. And in the mood of Radharani, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees also pull Jagannath ji to Gundicha temple. So that's something about Jagannath Rath Yatra. Again, thank you.
Prabhuji, should we observe fasting today? I mean, though I am not keeping fast today, but for in future, should we keep fast on Jagannatha Appearance Day?
Today fasting, I don't think today is fasting. At least we are not fasting.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I want to add few words to glorify Lord Jagannath. During his travel in South India, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 4 months in the house of Shri Vaishnava named Bankat Bhatt. He built the Jagannath idol by himself and served it. This Jagannath idol is still being installed and worshipped in the temple of Venkat Bhatt. The present name is Jagannath Mutt. So this is I want to share with devotees. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu.
It's 6:30 now. I have another class also now. So if it's okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class, and so sorry we are taking so much time from you. But you are so merciful, you are telling pastime after pastime. It feels like, your class should not end. We like to hear from you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have so much love, Prabhuji.
I need your blessings.
Blessings to us, Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Let us pay
Hare
our
Krishna,
obeisance.
Prabhuji. I have one.
Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Praise Gauranga Darshan Prabhu Ji ki jai.
Kamadaki Mataji wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say that when the father is delivered by the son, then because the wife is a half a body, Ardhangini of the husband. So when husband is gone, then wife also goes there.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Hari Bol.
So that Mataji was asking, that's why I was just saying that.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga,
Gauranga.
Very good.
Vakar Prabhu ki jai.
Guru Maharaj ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Jai ho.
Jai.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jagannath Bhajan Sunamai ki jai ho.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhagavatam class. We'll meet tomorrow. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.